It wasn't built for the road, it was built for war, designed to haul tanks, crush obstacles, and go where no truck should ever be able to go. The US Army doesn't build trucks for comfort, they build them for power. And this is the most powerful one they've ever made. It's not fast, it's not sleek, but when it rolls in, everything moves or gets out of the way. Meet the M1070 HET. That stands for Heavy Equipment Transporter. And trust this, there's nothing standard issue about it. Developed by Oshkosh Defense, the M1070 was created to solve a brutal logistical problem. How do you move a 70-ton main battle tank across enemy terrain under its own armor without breaking the road and or the truck pulling it? The answer, you build something so tough, so overpowered, it doesn't haul tanks. It drags the battlefield with it. We're talking 20 tons of truck pulling 70 tons of tank. The M1070 isn't just powerful, it's industrial warfare on wheels. Under the hood is a 700 horsepower Detroit diesel 8V92 TAV8 paired with an automatic Allison transmission and a torque converter that could probably twist a steel beam in half. It can tow 140,000 pounds across sand, rock, snow, or mud without flinching. And that's without armor upgrades. The frame, steel reinforced, custom built for off-road stress. Suspension independent on every axle. Tires, run flat, 16 ply, high clearance monsters that laugh in the face of terrain. And yes, it's all-wheel drive, not part-time, not selectable, permanent 8x8, because when you're moving 100 tons through a combat zone, traction control isn't a luxury, it's survival. The trailer that hitches behind it is just as insane. The M1000 semi-trailer made by DRS Technologies has 40 wheels and a payload capacity of over 80 tons. It flexes, it bends, it steers, all to balance the weight of a tank that could crush a city bus flat. And when you see this combination in person, the M1070 and M1000 hitched together, it doesn't look like a truck, it looks like a mobile fortress. But here's the part that really matters. The M1070 isn't just strong, it's smart, it's built for rapid deployment. You can load up a 70-ton Abrams tank and have it in motion within minutes. No cranes, no complicated rigging. It has integrated winches, power-assisted ramps, and a hydraulically controlled fifth wheel. Everything is modular, everything is field serviceable, because in war, downtime kills. It doesn't need roads. The M1070 is made for uneven terrain, bombed out routes, swamps, deserts, and mountain paths. It can ford deep water, climb steep inclines, and operate in temperatures ranging from -40 to +50 degrees Celsius. Its powertrain doesn't just haul, it survives. You won't find chrome or leather in the cab, but you'll find bullet-resistant glass, blast-deflecting armor kits, and a cabin built like a tank itself. And this truck has seen war. From Iraq to Afghanistan, it's moved Abrams tanks through heat, ambush zones, IED fields, and missile strikes. There are stories of M1070s taking damage to the front axle and still limping forward with their cargo. Others lost tires to mines and just kept pulling. Why? Because the mission demanded it. Because that tank had to get there. No excuses. Drivers don't sit in these things. They strap in. The cab is elevated, protected, reinforced. Inside, it's all gauges, military electronics, switches, and override systems. Everything is designed to be used with gloves on. Everything's overbuilt. There's no radio to play your favorite songs, but there's a full intercom system, blackout lights, a central tire inflation system, and battlefield navigation. You're not just driving, you're rolling into combat. The craziest part? It works like a charm. Maintenance crews say it's a dream to repair in the field. Modular parts, quick swap components, engine compartments that open like jaws to expose the drivetrain. Even the winch system, capable of pulling 25 tons, is self-retracting and multi-spooled for redundancy. It's not just tough, it's practical. And if you're thinking, why not just drive the tank? Good luck with that. Driving an Abrams 300 miles will burn through its treads, chew up fuel, and wear down components that take months to replace. The M1070 hauls that tank where it needs to be, so that when it does roll off the trailer, it's fully mission ready. Once the M1070 hits the dirt, it's all business. You don't see it cruising down highways with chrome stacks and a radio playing country hits. You see it crawling across airfields, roaring up hill grades with a tank strapped to its back, and disappearing into the heat waves of a war zone. This isn't a truck for hauling produce or fuel. This is a frontline brute that hauls weapons of war. And it does it under fire. During the height of the Iraq conflict, the M1070 became a lifeline. Enemy IEDs and RPGs didn't care if you were a logistics unit or an armored column. They'd hit anything that moved. Convoys needed trucks that wouldn't fold under pressure. The M1070 didn't fold. It rolled right through. Units started calling them the last mile kings because when all else failed, they still got the tanks to the fight. You'd see them chugging through Fallujah and Ramadi, sometimes with machine gun turrets mounted up top, sometimes with spotters riding shotgun, scanning rooftops. And even when the trailers were empty, they were still moving, hauling wrecked tanks out, pulling disabled strikers, towing MRAPs that had taken a blast and couldn't move under their own power. The battlefield doesn't stop, and neither does this truck. The power-to-weight ratio on the M1070 isn't just strong, it's strategic. The dual turbocharged V8 throws down 2,100 Newton meters of torque at low RPMs, meaning it hauls heavy while staying stable. In Afghanistan, drivers had to maneuver the M1070 through sharp mountain passes, where any wrong turn could send the whole load over a cliff. In Kuwait, it tackled extreme heat and soft terrain, where lesser trucks would bog down and vanish beneath the sand. In Europe, it now operates under NATO deployment exercises, helping reposition heavy armor in strategic staging zones near the Baltics. No matter the region, the threat, or the terrain, if armor moves, it moves on this truck. And what about terrain that isn't passable? Doesn't matter. This truck doesn't ask for permission. It makes a way. Need to cross a makeshift bridge with 90 tons of steel. M1070. Need to climb a hill that looks more like a cliff. M1070. Need to get a disabled tank out of the kill zone while taking fire. You guessed it, M1070. Over the years, the Army has tested new contenders, electric hybrid trucks, multi-fuel prototypes, even tracked haulers, but none have unseated the M1070. It's not just a truck, it's a formula. A proven blend of raw power, battlefield-tested toughness, and mechanical simplicity that gets the job done over and over again. Some of these rigs have been running for 20 plus years, upgraded, armor-plated, re-engined, but never retired. Why? Because nothing else can match them where it counts. Not just in horsepower, in hard use. This truck was born for violence, built to drag the tools of war into hell and back. And every time it starts up, it sounds like confidence. And here's something wild. In some circles, collectors are starting to grab decommissioned M170s. You'll find a few in private hands, stripped of military tech, turned into off-road monsters or heavy haul toys. But even then, they're not being babied, they're being used. Because when you own a machine like this, the last thing you do is let it sit. The US Army may never build another truck quite like the M1070. It belongs to a different era, a tougher one, a time when the answer to every logistical nightmare was build it bigger, make it stronger, and point it toward the fight. And somehow, all these years later, it's still answering that call. This isn't just the most powerful truck the US Army ever built. It's a legend on wheels, a steel juggernaut forged for war, tested in combat, and still rolling strong decades later. When you need to move the immovable, a tank, a fortress, or a mission, you call the M1070, and it doesn't ask how, it asks where.